I really just want to go take a shower. It's like my main prerogative is like eating and showering. That's if I could do that for the rest of my life, that's what I would do.
Just
Um,
eating and showering.
just eating and showering. When I retire, that's what I'm going to do is those two things.
Right.
Hi everyone, welcome to Behind the Booth. We're giggling. I am your host Jade, and with me as always is my producer and co-host. We got to do this again. I almost had it.
No, we don't. We're so bad at intros. It's great. No, but
Oh
I
my
am
gosh.
Heather. I am her producer and her co-host, and we love this podcast so much, and we're just having so much fun talking about this stuff with you guys, and we're so excited like to bring you all of this content. We love doing this. And yeah, we have wild stories from Comic-Con vendors because Jade has her booth where she sells all those beautiful things that you see behind you. They're so colorful and they're so much fun. And we would love to meet you at her booth at Tokyo Dog Designs because we want to share everything that we're doing with you guys. And we have a lot of conventions coming up. There's a list of them on our show notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find us, we have a list of where we're going to be. But okay, today we're actually going to tell a story. It was one that I actually wasn't at because I'm not at most of them. I'm probably not at like 80% of them. Like you go to a lot of freaking
I
events.
do. I go to
And
events.
yeah, so basically we're talking about like how being a good person, how being kind can actually really work in your favor, which like yes, like being a good person is always good and like it'll make you feel good if you're nice to people, all that good
This one
stuff. But
actually had a
like
monetary value though, so it's
yes.
kind of nice.
Yes, so take it away.
Sure. So I usually arrive the day before for most of these events, and I leave Sunday night or basically the last day of the event. I'll leave that night. I found that this works out better for just as an artist trying to get set up. Traveling same day and doing the event the same day can be very strenuous. So, and some events start like at 9 a.m. on Friday, not, 5 o'clock. So it just kind of depends on the event
Yeah.
itself. So I came in on a Thursday, and this event was actually for Las Vegas. And I went to the hotel, and this very nice lady, waved me over because it's, they have a queue for everything in Las Vegas. There's a line for everything. Um,
It's like Disney World.
so, but the time that I came in at like 4 o'clock on a Thursday, it wasn't busy. So she waves me over, and I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" Even though I'm tired and I really just want to go take a shower. It's like my main prerogative is like eating and showering. That's if I could do that for the rest of my life, that's what I would do.
Just
Um,
eating and showering.
just eating and showering. When I retire, that's what I'm gonna do is those two things. And I was like, "Hi, how are you?" She's like, "I'm good, ma'am." She's very, very polite, very formal. And I was like, "Hey, I need to actually add a last day. I wasn't gonna stay through Sunday, but I need to do that. Can we look at that? And can we still get the event rate? Because for these events, you usually have a rate for the hotel that's locked in." And she's like, "Absolutely. Let me look at how to do that." And so she's working on this, and it's not working for whatever reason. And she's like, "I'm so sorry. I need to ask for my manager." I said, "Okay, no problem." And this has been like about 5, 10 minutes. And typically that's kind of a long time for something like this to happen, but I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I'm just kind of leaning on the desk waiting. And then the manager comes over. Like, "We're so sorry for the inconvenience. We're going to get you taken care of." And I knew I asked for something weird. I was asking for an additional day, not like, "Okay, here's my key, here's my card," like any of that. I was asking for
Right.
a special treatment. And so they got me all sorted out. And, she's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm new." I'm like, "That's okay. Everyone has to learn. Everyone was new at one point," because that's 100% true.
Yeah.
And I was just hanging out. And so they got me the room. They upgraded my room because I was patient. And to be honest with you, I probably was there about 20 minutes waiting
Yeah.
to get this adjustment and for her to learn. So she was actually showing this person all the steps on how to learn. And they're like, "We're going to give you a food and beverage credit for $30. Just charge it to your room." I was like, "Oh, thank you. That's nice." She's like, "We're going to upgrade you as well to a higher floor, further away from the elevators. And it's one of our remodeled rooms." And I was like, "Oh, you didn't have to do that." They're like, "No, you were very kind. You were very polite and patient, and you allowed us to train. So we wanted to thank you." I was like, "Awesome possum." And then they also have this thing, some hotels are doing this more than others, where they call it a green reward. So it means if they don't come into your room and clean, strip your sheets every night, they give you a green credit. And so
Yeah.
they're also gonna give me that. So I'm now to $60 in food and beverage. And for those of you who have been to Vegas, you'll be like, "Well, Jade, that doesn't go very far." I'm like, "I made that stretch. So you stay on your
You
side.
can. You can do
You
it.
can." And I was like, I'm not really going to be able to use any of the facilities because the resort fees are pretty high. They're like $30 a day. And I was like, I'm just here for the event. I can't, the pool closes at times that I'm not going to be here. And I just can't really enjoy any of the facilities. I didn't drive, so I didn't need the parking space. They're like, well, we can waive that for one day. I was like, I'll take it. I'll take whatever
Yeah.
I can get. Thank you so much. I get to my room and it was newly remodeled and it was beautiful. But there was still some mess in there. And I had already said, I want to do the green room. I don't need any cleaning. It's fine. I can pick up after myself. But I got to the room and it was dirty. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to call them because I can't handle
Yeah.
a dirty room.
Yeah.
And part of it was sanitary. Like there was actually blood on some of the linens and pillows. So like
No.
it looked like,
And they need to know
yeah,
about that. Like,
yeah.
you're not being picky. Like, they need to know about that. That's not good.
What it looked like is I think maybe the person that was cleaning the room might have had a nosebleed.
Oh
And
no.
that's what it looked like. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, that's awful. So I called the front desk. I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I know I said it needed cleaning, but my room needs to be cleaned. And I know you guys gave me the upgrade and I feel really guilty. And the guy I talked to, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so very sorry. His name is Tristan. It's one of my favorite names. He's like, I'm so very sorry, Miss Alexander. We will get you another thing. I'm going to give you another $50 credit so you can go have dinner on us while we get your room cleaned.
Yeah.
And so if we're counting numbers wise, I have a lot of money for 4 days. And so I'm like, okay, I'll go have dinner. Like we're gonna reserve a table for you at they're like, where do you want to eat? And they always have like a million restaurants. I said, I heard there's an Italian place that sounds good. Pack those carbs in before I had to do Friday. They're like, we'll make a reservation for you. We'll have a table ready for you in 10 minutes. I was like, great. So I just go down, I wander through
Wow.
the thing. They did all this for me. And I felt bad that I inconvenienced them. And so by being like kind of patient and whatever with all that, it was fine. I actually grabbed a handful of some of my squishies. So after dinner, I went back to the front desk and I gave the people that helped me, the trainee, the manager, and Tristan, a little squishy stress ball because I'm like, you guys are gonna need it because Friday's coming up. People are crazy on Friday
Right.
because weekends at Vegas can be just insane. And they're like, oh my gosh, these are so cute. Thank you so much. And they were just very, very nice to me. So just being patient with staff and just, I don't want to say come at it all British, but like, I'm so sorry. This is the problem. Can you help me? I don't want to
Yeah.
say apologizing first is the right thing to do. It's something I was taught to do
Mm.
because I am inconveniencing them. Or I'll say things like that I know that are rude. I'll say, like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. Can I have this instead?
Yeah.
And the amount of people here that are like, oh, that's not rude at all. We can totally help you with that. Or let me get you something else. Or let me do this. Like they're
Yeah.
very accommodating. And they are in oh gosh, what is it called?
Hospitality.
Heather, help me with this word. Hospitality. Thank you. See, you knew
You're
what my
welcome.
brain wanted.
I got you.
They are in hospitality. And doing the reviews is a really big deal. So putting their names, saying specific keywords like I felt valued as a customer. People were polite,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Any of those things you can add into the review that helps them. It can be a really big deal. So being patient and kind got me almost, what was that, 110, $115 worth of snacks for a 4-day weekend. So
Right.
it's
Well, and like it's just realizing that they're just doing their job. They do want to help you. Like, they could even be
Mhm.
having a bad day, but if you are kind and like, willing to work with them and be like, "Hey, I'm so sorry about this." Like she said, you
Yeah.
don't have to apologize right away. You don't have to be like
Mhm.
come at it with that like, "Oh, I'm sorry." But there are ways to talk to people about issues that are coming up that because I mean, any of us who have worked in food service and retail and hospitality,
Yeah.
most of the majority of people that you deal with are jerks. Like,
Yeah, they're
they come
Karens.
at you like it's your fault. Like, you
Mhm.
better fix this because you're the jerk that did it. Like, they're not
You
kind to
bled
these
on my
people.
pillow. Like,
I
I
know,
don't think
right?
so. Like,
Like, it's so to have that this is not convention related at all, but Luke and I, sorry, my husband, Luke, just some guy,
I know who
went
Luke
to
is.
right went to Aspen a few years ago, which like we are not wealthy people, so we don't go to places like Aspen. We're like, hey, we're gonna splurge, we're gonna like stay in a really nice place and everything. And we stayed in this beautiful hotel, and we got there a little early and we were like, could we check in early, like it's okay
Mhm.
if not. And they were so like, so sorry, but we can't, like they still have to clean it. We're like, that's fine, can we like hang out at the
Mhm.
pool or something? And they're like, yes, of course. And they did that too. They gave us like drink tickets and like all this stuff, but they just like, they it was really weird to me because yeah, I was also raised to be like kind and not to blame people for things that aren't their fault, which I feel like should
Yeah.
be universal, but whatever.
Obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, but they were just like, oh my gosh, like it's sad. They were like, one of them was almost to tears because I think he was
Mhm.
new, and he was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like they're gonna yell at me. And we're like, yeah, it's fine. We're like, can we like go hang out over there? And he's like, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, here's the towels, like here's what you can. And it was just like, I'm like, dear Lord, just be kind. Like you just
Mhm.
realize that everybody's trying to do their job. And even if the person doing their job is having a bad day, maybe they are a little short with you, doesn't mean you have to respond in kind. Like
Yeah.
you can still give them grace because we're all human. We all have bad days, but like,
Yeah.
and it won't always, come back to you in a monetary way, but also maybe you made their day just a little bit better, and maybe they'll be nicer to the next person. Like, so
Mhm.
you never know what you're putting out into the world and what is actually coming back to you. But when you can like do it in dollars, when you can say I got about $100 worth because I just wasn't a jackass, like it's kind of nice.
Well, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening to Behind the Booth podcast, and a special thank you to Nerdy Girl Podcast for sponsoring this video. We'll see you next time.